Now, leaders Arsenal have been a little shaky in their last few Premier League matches, including their last outing against Wolves, where they relied on 2 own goals to win the game. On Saturday's ESPN FC, Stevie was critical of their performance.
Just a complete and utter lack of flair. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there are far too many players today who just are overcoached. Right. And coaches, as good as Pep is, you got Arteta doing the same thing. Mascara, maybe not so much with Chelsea, but there's just so much coaching going on. There's no flair. Nobody's got any idea. Nobody can take responsibility. They're scared to throw the ball in the box after 30 minutes when it's 0-0 because they're going to get into trouble. Well, we don't do that. We keep the ball. We're patient. We're playing against a team who, regardless, is not going anywhere. All they're doing is shuffling side to side. They ain't going to come and close you. They ain't doing anything. So you have to take the initiative, and then you have to take a chance. And the only person that seems capable of taking a chance is Saka. After that, everybody wants to follow the coaching badges. So, yeah, a complete and utter lack of flair. And Craig said it, lucky.
Dimitar and Mario still with us. Mario, you're laughing when you hear what Stevie said there. Do you think players are overcoached these days?
No, because I think, you know, like even for all the guys who are sitting there, and Dimitar, it's similar, you know, we come from the streets. We play football on the streets. So when you're going to prep us like we're almost like a robot, we're not going to produce the things that you want to see. And I think that's what he's jumping on, because clearly Stevie's time was definitely street football. I come from Amsterdam. That's the only thing, you understand? Like, that's what we do. We go on the street, play the balls. But nowadays, sometimes the kids go like, no, it hurts when I fall down. No, it's not about that. Or you listen too much to your coach. Because sometimes you have a coach in front of you and he tells you exactly what to do. I tell you, yes, you have to listen to some of the things he says, but don't lose your own spark. But by losing your own spark is not, you got to test your coach too. Just like you test your parents, you got to test your coach too and take the ball on and dribble past people. And some players just don't do that. And I'm like, why not? Do it.
What do you think?
Don't do it.
What do you think about all this, Dimitar? Because obviously these players have the flair. Are you seeing enough of it from them, or do you think that they are overcoached?
Well, times are different, obviously, since our times when we used to play, and probably now it's a bit more tactical, yes. Let's not forget that the points count, and sometimes, depending who your manager is, yes, you can challenge him, but then if you have someone like Pep, Klopp, you know, you want to please them, you want to do what they say, you want to play. And you want to be the guy that is going to do what the coach is saying. Of course, if you're someone with more flair, you will challenge the coach and you want to show how good you are actually on the pitch. And you have players like this, the artists on the pitch, the guys that make the difference. They still are there, and hopefully they will continue to be there, like Bruno Fernandes is for United, the guy who can make the difference, who can score from a free kick, a brilliant goal, or can make an assist. You still have players like this. And for the sake of the game, I hope that we're going to have plenty more, because when you go to the games, you want to see goals, you want to see entertainment, of course, with end result, because you want your team to win. That's not the case always, but you want to go home and you be like, oh my God, what I watched today.
What do you think the solution to it is, Mario?
Now, just give them some more freedom. I mean, like, we're talking about Saka. When we play football, right, we want the wingers to get on the ball, and what we want nowadays that we play football, you want your wingers to score. But if your winger is a robot, he's not going to do that. So when Saka gets on the ball, okay, we know he likes to go inside. You block the inside, he goes outside. So that is why we enjoy watching him. Okay, Martinelli dropped a little bit in the effect of what he normally has. But, you know, this is what I like. When I watch football, even if I don't support that team, I enjoy when I see people dribble and make the other opponent put some fear in him when he runs at you. That's the joy of football, I think.
To be honest, to your question, the solution is players like Eze, who Arsenal signed this summer. But yet still, certainly since 4 goals against Spurs, you've not seen anything like the player that certainly we knew at Crystal Palace, who played with freedom and played with flair, and certainly in that game against Spurs, did so to really good effect. But the point that Stevie is making, and you see it with both Pep and Arteta, is the game has become a version of chess. If I move this piece here, if this player goes here, I want the other players to do X. And as a result, there's no real creativity unless that player is just given a freedom where everybody else around them is going to do as they're instructed, and one player is given the freedom of the park to play with that player. And that again is down to the coaching. You know, this is not a player's issue, because you can't tell me that Eze is a robotic player. You never has been. But now, all of a sudden, that's kind of the conversation. Well, that's not the conversation. The conversation is, where is the Eze that we knew at Crystal Palace, that we saw a few weeks ago against Spurs? And that, for me, again, comes down to how Arsenal are organised. We sit here every single week, almost regardless of the result, and say it's a very professional performance. And that's who Arsenal are. You know what they're going to do. They're going to do it better than you, but you can't stop it.
What did you like best, Dimitar, yourself when you were playing? What did you like to hear from a coach, and what was the balance between those directions and the tactics and being able to use your own flair as a player?
Well, I think every player like to know that the coach trusts him. When you know that the coach trusts in your ability, you're more free to play on the pitch and not afraid to make mistakes. Then you can fully express yourself, knowing that even if you make a mistake, the coach is behind you, so you're free in your mind to express the best of you on the pitch. In my case, of course, it was always about entertainment, because this is how I saw the game. But in the end, you should have the end result, you know, the 3 points, to beat the opposition, because you play for trophies. You play for something that, you know, when you look back, you want to see that you won something. And because we spoke about Arsenal just now, I think that the approach they are taking in some games is pragmatical or direct, because for them it's about winning the title this season. They know they have that chance. They've been too much second place team, so now it's win it or lose it for them this season. And that's why sometimes it's more about how we win. Even if ugly, we need to win it. And sometimes this is what you need, unfortunately, for everybody who loves beautiful football. Win ugly, win ugly, win ugly. In the end of the season, you're first place. Everybody will love it, all the fans. If you can win it by playing entertaining football, even better, of course. But sometimes football doesn't work like that.
No, that's definitely the case, isn't it? And Liverpool have found that out for themselves this season, obviously trying to defend the title. Hasn't quite gone their way so far. This past weekend, though, not only saw Mohamed Salah come off the bench for Liverpool, he also became the sole player with the most goal contributions for a single club, surpassing Wayne Rooney. It's 277 goal contributions for Mohamed Salah right now. His corner kick assisting Ekitike for Liverpool's second. We've talked a lot about Salah's current situation a lot over the last week, Dimitar. What have you made of everything that's been going on between him and Liverpool and his comments about him not being happy?
Well, it's a difficult situation, because we speak here about Mo Salah, one of the best Liverpool performers in the last years, someone who was carrying the team on his shoulders, scoring goals, winning titles, medals, trophies, everything. And it's sad and like disappointing to watch something like this unfold between a star player and the club. It happened before, it will happen in the future. I've also been in a situation like this where you need to, try to show your ugly side to the team if you're in a situation that you think you need to show it. And in the case of Mo Salah, in his case, big player with big ego, he probably thinks he's unfairly, put on the bench. He's not playing, that in his own words, thrown under the bus. And he wanted to express that so everybody can see it, maybe provoke a reaction from the team, from the coach. He was hurt, of course. Again, when you're a big player with big ego and you're not playing, it's difficult to swallow it. It's difficult to accept it, even though sometimes you deserve to stay on the bench. I think it was the same situation with Ronaldo in United in his second spell, where he had similar problems, The good thing, I think, is that after the conversation with Slot, probably he was back in the team, making an assist, now having 277 involvement in goals, chance created, surpassing Wayne Rooney, it's a big achievement. So let's hope, even though I was rival to Liverpool, but you need to give credit where credit is due, that he's going to be back into the team because he's still, in my mind, the most creative player, the player who can score and make assists for the team.
Yeah, and Anfield certainly showed their appreciation for him, Mario. Do you think he'll stay at Liverpool?
If you don't want to play anymore, definitely a player that is in his situation, he could definitely pull the plug and say like, no, I don't want to play the last game anymore. I'm just straight away going to the African nations, and after that I will fix the problem. I think they calmed it down because I think both parties are not willing yet to make that step. That is because if not, normally a player that makes an outburst like that will get in big problems. But Liverpool tried to calm it down really quickly, and how they did it, okay, they had a conversation, him and Slot. And Slot, in the interview, you saw that he said like, okay, we moved on and now we got to take the next step. And that is a little bit how I know Slot. Slot is the guy that he grabs the bull by his horn and then try to fix it and then moves on to the next step. So I hope we all want to see Salah. I want to see Salah to get back to his best because last season he made me enjoy football. So I hope they can figure it out and smooth it out because if not, Salah, it's tough to win against a team.
Do you think it is hard to guess what's going to happen next here, Shaka?
I do. I mean, and for financial reasons, if Mo Salah was on $4,000 a week, it's easy. You keep him on. But at 400 grand a week,
A little different.
It's a little bit more in that regard. And especially if, say, Saudi Arabia table a really big bid this January, then, from a Liverpool perspective, do you continue to carry that wage packet for if Mo Salah does not get back to the Mo Salah that we saw even as soon as last season? Do you carry that for another season and a half? And it's not worth it if you only get what you've seen from Mo Salah so far this season, especially again, as I say, if Saudi Arabia table a really big bid. So it really just comes down to financial decision, and I don't think you can make a decision until you know Saudi Arabia's true interest.
Okay, so that's one of the big storylines from the Premier League at the weekend.